Good evening. You're watching Public Media N1's English language news broadcast, Hungary Reports. I'm Orsi Flum. Thanks for joining us. Fidesz continues to be the most popular party among decided voters. This was revealed from a recent survey by Median Opinion and Market Research Institute. According to the report, 53% of the people would vote for a ruling Fidesz party. The number of supporters for Jobbik party has further decreased. Currently, Jobbik has as many supporters as the Hungarian Socialist Party. Both parties are standing at 12%. 9% of the decided voters would cast their votes for the Democratic Coalition Party, 4% would choose LMP, and 4% would support Momentum Party. The research also shows that the proportion of those who are ready to cast their votes increased, according to the Research Institute, while the Hungarian Socialist Party, the Dialogue for Hungary, Jobbik, the Democratic Coalition, and the LMP parties would receive 1.3 million votes. 1,900,000 people would cast their votes for a ruling Fidesz party. Paying more attention to Brazil, Hungary will lay completely new foundations for the Hungarian-Brazilian foreign and economic relations, Peter Szijjártó said after discussing with the chairman of the lower houses, Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee, Eduardo Bolsonaro. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade emphasized that in regard to economic relations, the Hungarian government focuses on agricultural technologies, water management and health industry. The two parties will further strengthen research cooperation and increase the number of scholarships for Brazilian students as well.
The fact that the Hungarian government and the new Brazilian administration have a very similar position and approach on political and strategic issues gives a very good basis for the development of economic relations.
Inspections have shown that an ambulance worker has actually been infected with measles in a hospital in Szombathely. It was announced last Friday that a man with measles who had returned from Kazakhstan was treated in the hospital. And by the time he recovered, the ambulance worker had had a fever. It was now being confirmed that he had also caught the measles. 67 people who were in contact with any of the two patients have been vaccinated so far.
This is the clinic where the ambulance worker had been to. At that time, it wasn't known that he had measles. He had told his doctor that his temperature hasn't gone down in days. This is where the ambulance driver first sought care, and even then, the doctor has registered the fact that it might be a case of measles. In order to stop an epidemic, those who waited with the infected man at the clinic were visited in their homes. As we talked about it last week, a man who returned home from Kazakhstan was admitted to the hospital in Szombathely back in March due to being infected with measles. But this only became public after 2 weeks, when the ambulance driver was suspected to have contracted the same sickness. Everyone was vaccinated who had been in contact with him, including the ambulance driver, but he most likely had already contracted the disease already. 67 people were vaccinated against measles in Gecsenapáti and Szombathely's hospitals. This is how many people could have been in contact with the two men. The medical director said the man who worked in Kazakhstan left healthy, while his colleague's departure from the hospital will be discussed on Thursday. Zoltán Káldi added they have no knowledge of any other people getting sick. According to data from the World Health Organization, the number of people falling ill has quadrupled in the first quarter of 2019 compared to the same period last year. This means that while last year they registered 28,000 people in 163 countries, this year they've already registered 112,000.
Video recordings prove that two employees of the social institution in Mosgó in Baranya County abused inmates with mental disabilities. State Secretary for Social Affairs Attila Fülöp announced. He also added that he had initiated the dismissal of the two employees and reported the incident to the police already on Monday. The State Secretary also said, although the Hungarian Civil Liberties Union has been aware of the footage for 8 months, the organization hasn't called the police.
Given the extremely serious nature of the case, I immediately initiated the dismissal of the two colleagues because of their unacceptable behavior, both morally and professionally. I also initiated a permanent ban for them from this sort of employment, meaning that they can no longer be employed in social institutions. In addition, I myself initiated an extraordinary investigation at the institution itself.
After helping the work of paramedics, 34 young people of the first group called Be a Hero received their diplomas on Monday. While volunteering, 10% of the graduates realized that they have found their profession for life and they would like to work as a paramedic in the future.
The Legyél Hős or Be a Hero program could be applied to by students between the age of 18 to 22. During their minimum 6-month volunteering, they could, for example, get a glimpse into the operations of ambulance workers, how to care for those who are injured at the scene, as well as administrative practices.
Emellett volt a nyelvképzés, ami...
Next to this, there were language lessons, which started with the basic level English lessons to actual professional terminology, as well as the actual rescue missions, where they could work with real patients, meaning we could really prevail. It was fantastic, said this young man. 150,000 people took part in the volunteering. Many of them, thanks to this, have found their true calling in life.
Számukra mentők önkéntes programja.
For them, the ambulance volunteer program provides an opportunity where they can also practice their new professional skills and we can gain new partners, said Csaba Csató. The Legyél Hős or Become a Hero is part of the government's program called Personalized.
Ez egy több mint 5 milliárd forintból.
This program was realized from more than 5 billion forints or 15.6 billion euros from developmental resources and will continue to take place in the upcoming year as well. And in total, we committed to addressing nearly 3,000 young people through volunteering by 2022. So organizations that have applied for this 5 billion forints offer a volunteer opportunity to nearly 3,000 young people, said the State Secretary Katalin Novák. Till now, nearly 1,300 students have taken part in a minimum of 6 months of volunteering with the program.
A campaign is being launched by the police and one of the insurance companies to make fewer people talk on their phones, send short messages and use the internet while driving. Despite a majority of drivers know it's life-threatening, currently almost every second man and every third woman click on their phones behind the steering wheel. On the highway, for example, one car may take about 200 meters as long as the driver reads a message. There is no statistics on how many accidents are caused because of using the telephone while driving, as the guilty drivers often deny doing so.
We'd like to call attention to this, since this means the same or sometimes a bigger threat than drunk driving. We'd like to see a zero tolerance not only when it comes to drunk driving, but when it comes to telephone use as well.
An exhibition entitled God and the World was opened at the Benedictine Abbey of Tihany. Those interested can visit the paintings by Munkácsi Prize-winning artist Csaba Tóth. Theism is at the center of the exhibit. The artist, with a unique style, regularly includes a world or a concept in his works. The exhibition will open until the 26th of May. Bodorka Visitor Center in Balatonfüred awaits its visitors at Easter as well. In the center, 15 freshwater aquariums showcase the indigenous fish of Lake Balaton. In addition, 2 marine aquariums help those interested get acquainted with the marine life of the Adriatic Sea as well. Visitors can also watch films and enjoy guided tours. And that's all for now, but I'll be back tomorrow night at around the same time, and you can catch Hungary Reports online as well. Please stay tuned for our German, Russian and Chinese language news. Thanks for watching. Take care. Good night.